What's up, guys? Dr. Mo here, Digital Nomad Physician at digitalnomadphysician.com. You can also check out digitalnomadhealth.com and cardiachealthcoach.com. Those are the other places that I have my fingers in. Is that what they say? I think that's what they say. So for those of you new to the channel, I'm a family medicine physician living between different places, kind of a digital nomad. Spent some time in Mexico, spent some time in LA, Portland, Spain, a bunch of places. And right now I'm in Spain, probably going to be here until the end of the year. After that, I got some interesting plans. We'll see if that works out. So for today, I thought I would cover a topic. I recently did a poll, and please check out the poll on the Digital Nomad Physicians YouTube channel. There's a poll that you can fill out. And it looks like the majority of you are you're interested in starting your own practice. I think that's the reason the physicians who follow me follow my channel. You're interested in doing something of your own, but maybe you're limited by a couple of major things. The number one thing right now that's leading the answer poll is you don't know how to do it. How do you start your own virtual medical practice? And then the second one is maybe the legal aspects that you're afraid of. So I kind of want to start by saying that I cannot think of a better time than now to start your own medical practice. It doesn't mean you should. But there hasn't been a better time for an individual physician to start something of their own, with such a little investment upfront. And so if you don't know how to get started, this is it. This is what I'm going to cover here. I'm not going to cover the legal aspects, and I'm not going to cover what to specialize in. I've discussed that in many different YouTube videos, and definitely on the Digital Nomad Physician blog. And I've also discussed how to start your own telemedicine practice, and you can check out the videos, just do the search, and you'll come across that. But maybe I didn't do a good job, or it just is worth revisiting it again. I can tell you how I started my own virtual practice. I can tell you how other people started their own virtual practice, and I'll tell you how in today's environment, with today's technology and some of the legal aspects, you can start your own telemedicine practice. So I started my telehealth practice by simply putting up a website saying I am a virtual primary care physician. Now, I had some other iterations of it before I kind of figured out this piece. This is what I like to do. And I decided to follow the monthly subscription model because it gives me a steady income and I like it. In order to get started, how do you start it? You start by putting up a website. And the reason you start with a website, because it organizes your business, it organizes the patient flow. It just makes things simple. And you link that to your favorite electronic medical record. You need an electronic medical record. You can do it with Google Docs. The professional version allows you to have it be HIPAA compliant, etc., and have a business associate agreement, BAA. But I think it's very easy these days with Elation, with Chrono, Dr. Chrono, with Atlas MD, with there's another one I really like. Athena Health. That's a good one. It's very bloated, but it's just nice. It's very clean. And of course, what I use, Acute Health, AKUTE, no sponsor. But it allows me to document the patient visit. It allows me to give the patient the documents they need to sign before visiting with me, and I can submit subscriptions. Those are the main ones that I like, but there are many of them out there, and all of them are going to do everything you need. You need to purchase one of those. You need to sign up for a membership with one of those. And why? And the reason is you need to be able to be professional and also have somebody else take the burden of keeping the documentation compliant and legal, etc. So, for example, with Acute Health, they allow me to submit prescriptions, they allow me to enter a SOAP note, and they allow me to save documents. Easy. That's pretty much everything that I need. Now, if you go with something like Atlas MD, it's so much fancier. You can do patient scheduling and text messages and send this. Acute Health has it too. I'm not saying it doesn't. It's just that it's not quite as fancy. But also I only pay like 50 some dollars a month for acute health versus $300 for Atlas MD. And when you get there, when you're at that point, I don't have a lot of patients, you go for Atlas MD, atlas.md, I think. And besides the actual EMR, the website is important because that's where you enter all the information that you need to so that the people who find you are the right fit. The next step is the marketing. I like to market by just writing blog posts, taking that blog post, sharing it on other platforms, whether Instagram or LinkedIn, but also just reaching out to my friends and family and telling them, hey, I have my own practice, send somebody my way. That's the marketing part. Much easier way would be to just run Google advertisements, Facebook advertisements, etc. Just hire someone. I mean, it's that simple. Just go on LinkedIn, a physician-patient marketing, hire someone, talk to them, interview them, and just give all of that to them. You can give all of that to them, but you can't just completely let it go. You have to be involved, and you'll figure that out. That's part of what you need to do on your part to run your business the way you like it, right? I do my own marketing. I like it my way, but I don't have a lot of patience. And that's probably why I don't have a lot of patience, because I don't do the marketing as professionally as I could, but I don't want to because I'm also happy with the number of patients that I have, right? So it kind of depends on what you like to do. The other part I think people get confused about is the legal part of it. Like, what legal stuff do I need to have? You need a patient agreement that the patient is willing to have you be their physician and they understand that they're engaging in a virtual practice of medicine. So that's the patient agreement that you sign, and any other kind of terms and policies and procedures, terms and conditions, and privacy, kind of like a website privacy document. All of that can be drawn up for you by any attorney. There are a lot of telemedicine attorneys out there who just sell you a package, $5,000 to $10,000. They'll sell you a package, and it's a good package. They will write it individually. They're not going to give you a cookie cutter. If you're getting a cookie cutter, forget it. Cookie cutter stuff is not going to protect you. I've mentioned a few attorneys on my website at digitalnomadphysician.com. Do a search for legal, and you're going to come across the attorneys that I've found who are professional, competent, capable, responsible, and understand the landscape of telemedicine. Now, if you're worried about the $5,000 to $10,000 investment up front, back in the day, it was so much more expensive. And you can get something simpler if you're just starting out. You can get cookie cutter stuff for $1,500. But as soon as you take off, if you don't change that, if you don't protect your business, that $10,000 investment that you didn't do might bite you in the butt. So the legal aspect, the electronic medical record, your website, and kind of the marketing in the middle, just making sure you're getting out to the consumer, to the patient, and whoever you want to advertise to. That's the essence of it. As far as how do you schedule patients, well, your electronic medical record is going to have a scheduling platform. You reach out to your patient. Now, if they're paying you cash and you have a niche practice, well, then they just book an appointment with you. They find you on Instagram. They're like, yeah, I want to talk to this doctor here. I'll just, for example, me, I have a Calendly link. So they find me, they click an appointment button, they immediately pay the money before they can even make the appointment. And that sends them the link to my acute health patient platform. They register there, they sign all the documents, and I wait. When the appointment comes up, pick up the phone, call, video, whatever. The other legal thing that people worry about is, well, what states can I practice in? You can only practice in the states you're licensed in. The patient is located in Oregon, you need an Oregon telemedicine license. The patient is located in Kansas, you need a Kansas state medical license. It's that simple, it's not complicated. You need to have that license. There's no way around it. Most states allow you, no, not most states, some states, 14, 16 states right now will grant you a telemedicine only license as long as you're currently licensed in your home state. So for me, my home state is California, and I currently have a Tennessee telemedicine license. Why Tennessee? Because I do volunteer work. I do telemedicine and volunteer work for the state of Tennessee, and so they granted me a telemedicine license. You can get it for some other states as well. You're gonna have to do that research. A really, really good resource for this would be the book that I will link below by Scott. Damn it, I always forget his name. I'll link his website. He's called the Functional Lawyer. So if you just go to his website or just read his book, take his course, great information. I mean, you can't get that for that cheap anywhere these days. The fact that an attorney is going out there and putting his information out there for free, the Cohen Law Group does a great job of that. Scott does a great job of that. I really appreciate that. And then you get a telemedicine license and you market in those states, you find patients and you go from there. Now, the marketing is a multi-strategy type of a process. You know, you can market on LinkedIn, you can market on Facebook, you can market on Google, you can market on Instagram. You can also market with, specialists and just tell them, hey, I'm a, family medicine physician. I'm looking for primary care patients who want to have a virtual practice. Want to have a virtual physician, have a virtual practice. That's it. That is everything that I can tell you about starting your own virtual practice. Actionable steps. What's the name of your business? Register your business. The name, you need a business name and a EIN from the IRS. You want to register your business so that the name of the business, if it's different from your name, there are certain rules in many states where I cannot advertise my business as the functional lawyer without registering that name. So you may have to register it. Some people are like, oh, do I need an LLC or S Corp? Those are questions for an attorney, and that attorney who's helping you draw up the contracts should be able to give you some advice on that. In general, a lot of physicians do an LLC. Some people do an S Corp. In the end, when you get sued, you get sued. So I don't care how many LLCs, S Corps, and stuff that you have. When you get sued, you get sued. So I am practicing as an independent contractor. That's a big no-no by everybody's standard. Again, my attorney is okay with this. I go with what my attorney says. If you trust your attorney, go with what your attorney says. If another attorney disagrees, that's up to them. I think that's something you need to figure out yourself. But you don't need that right away, right? That's not a necessity for you to start your business and start marketing and finding clients and customers. Many states require you to have malpractice insurance. So of course, you need to reach out to a company like the doctor's company. They do not underwrite you if you are a virtual practice only. If you are practicing in person, they are willing to do it, but usually they're not. But they can recommend many other ones to you. So you can do a search for. Generally what physicians do is they just get a insurance broker. They talk to them. It's like, hey, look, this is what I have. I'm going to have very few patients in the beginning. So it's going to be cheaper. It's going to be a couple thousand a year initially, and it's going to ramp up over the first 3 to 5 years. These might be a lot of payments. If you're afraid of that, get a business credit card from, First Republic, from Chase. Start your business credit line, put it all on a credit card. If you go bankrupt, if your business doesn't take off, you can file bankruptcy for your business. It's not the end of the world. Most really successful entrepreneurs have done that, but we're talking like $10,000 to $15,000 at most that you're going to be out. I don't think that's a lot. And you're never going to find a time in the world where you're going to be able to start your own business for this cheap. And for that reason, I think it is a really good time to start your own practice. So as far as the electronic medical record, start with one. You're going to change. The average physician changes about 3 times before they find the ideal electronic medical record for them. The website is simple. You can do it yourself with WordPress and eventually bring somebody on to do it. Again, I think everybody in the beginning wants to hire someone to do all of it for them. You need to be a little bit involved. Starting a WordPress site on Wix or all these other websites, production companies that are out there now, is quite simple, and you can always migrate it in the future. Call an insurance broker, get malpractice insurance, call a good attorney, ask for references from your fellow physicians, get an attorney to draw up all the plans for you, and also fill in the gaps of knowledge that you don't have. Like I practice in California, right? My business is based out of California. And so I have different regulations that you might have in Arizona or Oregon. And so it's good to know that. For example, in California, I do not have to have malpractice insurance if I don't take somebody who is insured or with Medicare or Medicaid. So I can practice without malpractice insurance if I choose to, right? If my patients are mostly friends or people who I know or people who have screamed to hell and back, so I know they're not going to sue me, chances are they're not going to sue me, my risk might be lower. And so I might choose not to have malpractice insurance. That's up to you, of course. I'm not making any recommendations. So that's how you start a telemedicine practice, a virtual medical practice. I called mine Digital Nomad Health. I'm going after the digital nomad who's based out of the US, but finds himself all over the world. I help manage their health regardless of where they go in the world and what they do and what medicines they take, what medical problems they have. I know how to navigate the world with imaging studies and lab tests and interpret it and keep it all in one place. That's my niche. That's what I like. Kind of expanding into the expat community a little bit. I'm kind of liking that. There are a couple of, actually one person here in Spain who found me, and I think that's kind of interesting for me to be able to cater to the expats who are now pretty much overseas. They still pay taxes in the US, meaning that they are still kind of US residency based, complicated. But I think that's an interesting niche for me to follow. That's all I can think of. If you have any questions, leave comments below. I hope this is helpful, and take care, guys.